Hey AfterBuzzers, we are talking episode 2 of What Happens at the Abbey. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We thought this song would be so fitting, issues, because everyone has issues in this episode.
Yes. Well, not just this episode.
Well, yes, in general.
True.
But hey, AfterBuzzers, thank you so much for tuning in. We are so excited because we have a special guest with us tonight, Kim Senser. Yay! I'm your host tonight, Tessa Cevaal. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tessa_Cevaal. And this is my lovely co-host, Paige. Where can they find you?
I'm Paige Bach, and you can find me at Paige Kelly Bach on Twitter and Instagram.
And Kim, where can everyone find you?
They can find me on Instagram at uncensored.
Awesome! And don't forget to follow
instead of an O, right?
Oh yeah, UNSENSERED.
Perfect. And don't forget to follow AfterBuzz on all social media at AfterBuzz TV. So you guys, this is so exciting, Kim. We are so excited that we have you here with
I'm
us
so
tonight.
excited to be here.
Yay! So why don't you tell us first kind of about your experience on the show? What an exciting show to be a part of.
It's been so crazy and fun, and everyone on the show is so close that it's made this process of being on a reality show so much easier. I've been at the Abbey for a little over a year now, so it's all kind of still new and exciting, but, there's lots of relationships that have already been well established walking into it, so it's been a journey, yeah.
Yeah, and so I know right before we started, you were telling us a little bit about the process, and it sounds like it was kind of a long process from start to end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they shot the original pilot about 2 years ago, and then we've just been working on it ever since, and they, interviewed more people as the chapel started opening up, and that's kind of how I fell into it, and I've just been loving working there ever since.
That's awesome. And have you always been in the same position there, or have you moved around a little?
I've always been bartending. I started bartending like 5 years ago when I moved to San Diego for school, and it's tough getting a bartending job there, but I love it. It's the best bartending job I've had in LA by far.
I would imagine. It looks like a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. It's just cool. Everyone there, every single person of the bartender staff is just great. So.
And I'd imagine people stay there for a while, right?
Oh yeah,
bartenders. So it's like you kind of get familiar with everyone.
I think Kyle has been there for like 5 years or something like that. Oh, wow. Bartending, yeah. Once you get a position there, you don't leave. Unless you get fired.
And then
you have to. You're going to have to leave, yeah.
That's so cool. And it really, the show makes you guys look like such a family. I mean, is that true?
Yeah, obviously everyone has their issues, but I think the reason that happens is because we love each other so much, and when you become that close, you start fighting like brothers and sisters or lovers or whatever, and it's bound to happen, but there's always love between us all, and we get along so great 90% of the time.
Which is normal.
Yeah,
that's like any family,
totally.
Any friends, whatever.
Exactly.
So, maybe diving right into it. So, in the 2 episodes we've seen, you went on a date with a man.
Yes.
Last episode, and then at the end of the episode, David, right? That was his name?
Dylan.
Close. Sorry, Dylan. I was like, wait.
It's all good.
Elizabeth and
Yes.
you had a kiss. And then it came out, this episode, you guys talked about it. So...
Yeah, Elizabeth seems to be taking it really seriously.
Yeah, and I don't blame her. It is different. I've had my experiences, when you get drunk and you kiss your girlfriends, but she is a lesbian, and I should have realized that going in, and I think a part of me did, but it's easy to kind of brush it off like it's just a friend,
Right.
But there's some layers underneath that kiss that I wasn't really ready to come out and, you know, share with the whole pool party while we were drinking. So
Makes sense.
right.
No, it makes
Will
total
we
sense.
see more of this relationship play out in the upcoming episodes?
A lot.
A
Yeah.
lot,
This is
okay.
like, so we're
goodness.
sitting next to each other like, oh God, episode 4, episode 5. Like there's a lot to
wow.
see between the two of us. Yeah.
So was this the first time you had an experience like this where you kissed a lesbian friend?
A lesbian friend, yes. Elizabeth is, you know, the first lesbian that I've become really, I mean, we're best friends. And, you know, but I don't like see her as, oh, my lesbian friend. She's just my best friend. And she just so happens to be a lesbian, which kind of opened a door that I had never opened before. And, you know, when you have that kind of like love and respect and trust with another person, it kind of blurs the line between friendship and something more. It makes it a little bit blurry, I guess.
Yeah, it gets complicated too, I guess, in that because you're so close,
Yeah.
it's so easy for you. It can be so short, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like a long moment in either
Mhm.
episode, but
Yeah.
it's like if you guys know each other for a while, it's just easy to go either way.
Yeah.
For sure. Like for
Completely.
her, she can take that little moment and turn it into like a whole story of having
Right.
a relationship, and for you, you can take that little moment and be like, oops, the next day, and
Yeah.
just kind of hope it goes away.
I
So
know.
I can see how it happens.
Yeah. And it ggets messier.
Oh, goodness.
Ooh, something to look forward
Yeah.
to. I hope it's not too bad. Ooh, maybe.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay, so moving on then. Marissa's mom
Oh,
came
sweet
out,
Debbie.
Debbie, which was amazing.
Yeah.
She is like crazy
She's
woman.
the perfect Italian mother, isn't
Yeah.
she?
Yes,
It's
yes, that's a great
so
way to put
great.
it.
You really
Very
see where she gets it
Italian,
from.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same person.
They
Yeah,
really
they're
are.
exactly the same person in the way they behave with like the celebrities too.
Yes.
I don't know, just they just
The
have this
accent.
happiness about life.
I
that
closed
is
my eyes and
just
I couldn't
makes
tell
them
them
oblivious.
The only way you can tell them apart if you close your eyes is their laugh. They have two very distinct but different laughs.
Oh,
Marissa's
okay.
laugh, have you guys noticed it yet?
It's
It's-
a little. I don't think she's laughed for a long time yet on the show, has she?
Oh, once you hear it, you know. It's very, it's an amazing laugh. It's one of a kind. I love. That's my favorite part about Marissa is her laugh.
Aw.
You're gonna have to like. It's
gonna have
hilarious.
to keep an
I know, I'm not, because I don't
Rewind.
think I saw the distinction between the two, but I guess I wasn't listening closely enough.
You'll hear it.
So
You'll hear
did
it.
you get to
Cute.
spend a lot of time with Debbie or not?
We spent a couple days together, and she's really sweet, and she's very protective. You know, right when you meet her, she's very sweet, but she's like, do I like this person? Do they? She wants to make sure that like you're treating her daughter right, which I get. But I was like, wow, I thought my mom was crazy. Nope.
I kind of love it about her. You get that like I feel like the way as well that she said goodbye to Marissa and how
Oh,
she
yeah.
was like, you can always come home anytime, anything. I was like, Marissa must feel so secure in her life. Like no matter what
Yeah.
happens, she's like, my mom has got me,
Mhm.
and like I always have a place to go, and
She
I
can
love
always
that.
come.
That was really sweet.
I feel like she like has kept her room pristine, like at home, and has all her trophies at home.
for
You know what
sure.
I mean? Like she's just
Oh,
waiting
yeah,
for her to come on. I made your bed. It's all clean. I wash your laundry. You know, and just, she wants it.
I have dinner made,
Yeah.
I have clothes washed, like it's all good.
A place setting that's cleared every night. Yeah.
oh
It's
goodness.
really precious. And we saw Debbie give Kyle kind of the cold stare at the
Right.
beginning
Yeah.
of the
I
introduction.
like how she sat
there.
back and like took it in
Mhm.
slow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's like very protective, but then I think her quote was like, "Oh, I'm feeling a lot of heat down here," and I don't know where exactly. She wasn't like we couldn't see where she was pointing, but I feel like I know where she was pointing.
Yeah.
The heat.
No, I feel
Love
like
to know. The upside down V. That's my favorite.
It's interesting too. Do you think they're just really sweet and like don't have LA taste yet? Because both of them, I was like, no, no, don't approve of him. I was like, yes, she's gonna be like, no, Kyle, no, and then she was like, oh, I like him. He's got everything going on, which generally is.
Well, he pulled the compliment the daughter card, and how could
Oh,
she
yeah.
not love him after that? I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing.
It's like he was taking lessons from Daniel or something.
Yeah. Which that has to be my favorite scene of the whole entire episode. I just I love Daniel. Everyone just like clowns on him all the time, but like he's
seems
so one of a
harmless.
kind and just hilarious. He's just great. He's hilarious.
He is a very unique human.
Very unique.
Very
Special.
unique human.
With very unique hair.
So the
which we
date.
always hear about.
Yes.
Yeah.
That date just took a 180 real fast.
So cringeworthy. That's all I could say. I was just like, oh no. And like, you feel for Daniel and you feel for Ashley, and you're just like, get these two away from each other before they start having a food fight. I don't know. It was bad.
What killed me
really
though
bad.
is at the end, Daniel goes, nailed it, or something like that. I was like, what? Was he kidding? Like, is he kidding?
I kind of feel like he wasn't. I kind of feel like he probably thought that, because I remember we talked after their date, and he's like, I think it went well, like we had some of her candy or something like that. I was like, candy, and like had no idea, but who knows with that kid. I don't really know what his type is or who's interested. I don't
He
know.
just seems very like happy and happy-go-lucky, go with the flow. Like, I don't think much can bring him down. I kind of like that about him, though.
Yeah,
I do
agree.
too. He does his own thing.
totally. He's one of a kind. So
He is. And I remember in the first episode, he was always wearing a fanny pack. Is
Oh,
that
he
a thing
still-
that he still does?
yeah, I don't know if
gonna
I'm
see that
allowed to
more?
say this, but Brandon actually was like, you should make up your own line and call it the Danny Pack.
Oh.
Right? I don't know if I'm blowing a secret right here, but that was great. That was amazing, right? I'm
AfterBuzz
like,
exclusive.
I know.
That's pretty good.
But no one knows what's in it still. We're trying to figure
really?
out what's inside the fanny pack.
No one knows?
No one knows. The brush, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Remember when Dylan pulled the brush out of his pocket at the pool party?
Yeah.
That was so
Sweet
special.
Dylan.
Sweet
Dylan. Love Dylan.
He's a lot. When he was here, and like I adore Dylan too.
Yeah.
When he was here, I think he moved into so many positions in that one small space. That
Do you
he was
remember one
sitting.
time he climbed on top of the couch like a monkey and he was just
And
sitting
like
there?
crossed his legs under his arms. I was like,
I'm like, is that your uncomfortable I think that's when he was like, oh, I don't know, you look like a rabbit. I don't know.
He was very hyperactive when he was
Mhm.
here.
That's him at all times.
Always.
He's
Really?
always so hyper and is eccentric. He's kooky. He's a kooky man.
we were all like, we see why you should be on reality
Yeah.
TV. Like, you should do more.
You should do more.
For sure.
Come back, Dylan. Come back.
Okay, so going back to Marissa and Kyle, we also saw Marissa come into Kyle's house to look at
Yes.
headshots, and we meet Kota.
Kota.
Oh my gosh, I love Kota so much. I have a toy Pomeranian at home too.
Oh,
That's
you
like
really?
the one thing me and Kyle can bond over is our love for tiny, fluffy little dogs. My dog's name is Cash, so like they could literally
Cash and Kota.
Yeah,
And it's a pom too.
it's a
actually
pom, it's a
really
boy, so and his is a girl, so it's kind of like perfect. But yeah, she's the cutest little freaking dog I've ever seen in my life. Besides my dog.
It's kind of odd though how he's trained his dog to only go on like
that
a
was
keypad.
really interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Well, Kyle was like in the military, so I think he has
Really?
these, like mannerisms down where he could, really, the dog.
He seems very disciplined
yeah,
in like every
very
way.
disciplined. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I even feel like he doesn't like smile or frown like too harshly. He's very like.
I feel like that's also an LA thing. Like people are
Yeah.
scared of getting wrinkles, so they just never smile. I
They're
think
like, yeah,
Kim
all
Kardashian
the time.
said something like that.
She never smiles.
She never smiles
She never
because of
does.
the
Every time
wrinkles.
she's on the carpet, it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All those models do that. I don't understand it. I don't know how to
That's
make that
sad.
face.
I don't either. I
I'm
try
like,
and I look really dumb.
I don't know what to do with my lips. They're like relaxed lips. I'm like, oh, I need some like numbing cream. I don't really know. Teach me. Someone teach a class.
Help!
What to
Comment
do?
below.
Botox
How do you
yourself.
do this?
You just Botox yourself so much that you can't
That's
smile. So then
probably
you're
what
always
it
just like
is.
this.
That's the secret.
Constantly.
That's probably what it
Stab
is.
your face.
But okay, going back again to Marissa and Kyle.
far away.
We find out that Marissa technically has a boyfriend.
That was a
Plot twist.
that was a huge bomb. I was like, I did not see that coming because she's so sweet. I just didn't think she'd be in like a
Yeah.
complicated situation. And she's like, he's my high school sweetheart. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not that serious. Well, 8
Yeah.
years.
I know, and she.
a long
I remember she was like talking about. It was always on again, off again, and that's so complicated because when is it on, when is it off? You never know, and I kind of felt for Kyle in that moment, but I mean, it's Marissa's fault. I mean, like, what is she doing?
No, it's true, and I think it's hard to be in one of those situations because it's like, does meeting someone amazing make her finally decide that they're off for good, but it's not fair to the person she meets.
No.
And then it's also like, should she just give it a shot? But I don't really see how it's going to work out at this point. I think she just needs to end it.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand if Kyle moves on after this. I get it. That's frustrating.
So you know a lot of things.
No, nothing.
Okay, and then also with Marissa, we had Heidi come in.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who is so gorgeous in person. And, like, I don't know, the last time I saw her in any sort of tabloid, it was so long ago, I guess, and she just looked different, but she's beautiful and super sweet. She's tiny, though.
Really?
She's literally so tiny. Like, tiny.
That's the one thing about
Like this
TV.
way and this
you
way,
have no idea
No
how
clue.
tall people are or
Yeah.
anything until you meet them.
She's really sweet. She actually performed one of her songs at the Abbey that night, which
Oh,
it doesn't.
sweet.
It was like she was like releasing a song or something, and she performed it, but they don't show it. But it was
Oh,
good.
that's a fun little fact.
Yeah, I didn't know she sang, but she had
I
just
didn't
the
know
whole
she sang
package.
either.
Mhm.
That's really cool. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to check that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
I liked how sweet she was. I liked that she was just really kind to Debbie.
Yeah.
And was all into the photo. And she was really kind to everyone who served her, which I liked.
Yeah.
I love people that treat their servers nicely.
And she was like so sweet with Marissa when she was telling her like, "Oh, you're in the right place. You know,
Yeah.
your dreams are gonna come true." I'm like, "Who is this person? Heidi's so sweet." And then she has Spencer.
yeah,
Spidey,
true.
gotta love them. They've been together, what, like a decade now? Like,
So
it's been
long.
a long time.
I think
Oh,
having a kid. I
goodness.
think they're having a kid now.
Every
Yeah.
reality show has their Spidey. I mean, it's kind of like Courtney and Scott.
Who's the Spidey on her show?
That's like Courtney and Scott, right? Because
Kourtney
they're like
Kardashian and Scott
on and off.
Disick.
But
But
no,
no,
who's
who's-
the Spidey
who's
on their
Spidey?
show?
Oh, on your
Yeah.
show?
It's gonna be you and Liz.
Is it? Okay. Which one is the Spidey?
I don't know.
Stay tuned.
No, it's gonna be like Corey and Murray, right? Because they're on again, off again, like hot and cold,
Yeah.
up and down, just disaster.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about that?
Yeah.
The episode title was called Chicken Leg Bitch, which was a line from Corey to Murray, which was amazing.
So
I'm not gonna lie, their
amazing.
fights are very epic.
Oh.
I mean,
That's
0
why
to
they're
100.
That's why their fights are still being shown.
You have no. I mean, this is like the PG version of their fights. Like
Really?
further,
Ooh.
there's drink throwing. There's just a lot of crap that goes down between the two of them. The thing is, like, they're so cute together when they're good, and when you see them and they're good, it's like. It looks like you're literally seeing a unicorn. You're like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's beautiful. And then when it's bad, it's so bad. But we love them both. It's not like we're rooting for either one of them. We literally love them both equally. And they're such amazing people. And they must really, really love each other because they've been together for, I think, 2 years now-ish, off and on. But, like, I just
Do you
love them
think,
work
like,
out.
Murray has a drinking problem? I feel like the way that it's been shown so far is, like, Corey doesn't do anything wrong and Murray does.
Okay.
I don't feel like that's
They
fair.
both drink, as everyone does in the show.
yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's either one of them having a problem. I
Yeah.
think maybe in the beginning it was more, Murray going out and stuff, and then it might change towards the end, but they both have their moments where either one of them's, drinking too much, and it's just
Okay.
miscommunication. When you're drunk and you look over and someone's talking to someone, and you're like, I can't believe you're talking to this guy, and it's like his brother or something, and you have no idea, but that could blow up, and so it's just bad. I just wish maybe season 2 they'll do like couples therapy. If we get a season 2.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
That'd be great.
Do you know something we don't know?
No, I would love that.
It breaks my heart every time, though, because, like, Corey's so heartbroken when
know.
he sees it,
I
and Murray's
know.
so
I know.
oblivious.
I know.
Like,
And-
I don't think he's vengeful at all. He's just, he has no idea. Like, the classic moment is when he's like, you're touching this guy. He's like, no one's touched me.
Yeah.
But he truly believed it. Did you see that? It was
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, he's not, like, lying. He's
Maybe
like,
because he thought the guy was straight, he thought it was okay.
Giancarlo.
Yeah, so what do we
The
think of him?
straight
Because
guy.
I don't think he doesn't act that straight to me.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, but the footage says it all. That's all I'll
His
say about
dancing,
it.
he, like, whipped his
I
hair. and
know.
was like-
I think he is a dancer, maybe. There's
Oh,
no
really?
way that straight guy
Yeah,
can be.
is he a dancer at
At the Abbey.
Abbey.
Everything's making sense now.
It's all coming together. But that's a really good point you brought up, Paige, is that we're kind of, as an audience, I think, not, how am I going to phrase this? We're
not getting into, like, Corey's mess ups.
Yeah,
it's
we're
only on
kind
Marissa.
of trained to not like Murray from how we're seeing everything play out. So will we start to see Corey's side?
I think I mean, just from my point of view and seeing them in real life, I know that they both have their moments. So that has to, I hope that they show that, not to like bash Corey, I love Corey, but they both equally are at fault sometimes, and they both try really hard to make the relationship work, but it's just like sometimes you look bad and sometimes you look better, and this episode Murray didn't look too good.
No, not at all. Although his dancing was very entertaining,
Oh
and he
my
did look
God.
very physically good. So good for you, Murray.
Did you guys see him dancing with himself in the mirror?
Yes.
Oh yes, when he like, touched the mirror and he was like,
Murray.
Hey.
I rewatched that scene so many times. So many times. It's my favorite. We have like a group chat and we just all talk about it. I'm just like, I'm so excited for Sunday. So excited to see it.
That's great. I love it.
So
And,
great.
so like next relationship we definitely have to spend some time on, right? Brandy and Lawrence.
Yes.
Yes.
We saw a lot of depth
Baby
to
mama.
them this episode, which is really cool.
It was tough. I mean, last week we were talking about how real they were.
Yeah.
And like Dylan was also saying they're just such incredible people, both of them, and he's scared of Brandy, which everyone seems to be. Are you scared of Brandy?
No, you know what? I think that's everyone's like first take of her because she does have a big presence, but once you get to know her, I absolutely, she's the sweetest human ever, and maybe she has a thing for white women. She's mentioned.
So maybe she's nice to you.
Maybe she's extra nice to me and just mean to
so
everyone
she
else.
mentioned in the pool. She was like, I've been there with the straight white
I've
girls.
sworn off white women. Not anymore. Word on the street.
Woo! Spoilers. I love them. I was really touched by the Lawrence thing.
Oh,
When-
I cried.
I
eyes
was
out.
getting teared up.
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
I was just
That was
covered
a
in
beautiful
goosebumps.
moment
Yeah.
That
that
was
he had with his
so.
dad.
Truly.
I think the crazy thing about their situation, though, is if you explain it to anyone, and we also discussed this last week, like if you say a lesbian and like a gay man are gonna have a baby together, and she's in a relationship and he's not, and they're gonna raise it together, it's kind of just sounds like the craziest story.
Yeah.
But every time I see them talk about it and the whole process that they're going down,
Yeah.
I just truly believe that it's gonna work out.
Oh, 100%.
And his dad was so supportive, which is
Yeah.
like, I have them again. It was so cute.
Yeah.
He said, "What a way to honor me," or
Yeah, he said, what a way to honor me, and this is remarkable.
I mean, their relationship is truly one of a kind. Like they love each other so much, and they're such good friends that they really, really do. They care about each other, and that love is going to be passed on to that child no matter what.
Yeah.
And there's no way that they can't break up. It's they wouldn't even if they tried. And I just think that I'm just so excited for them to like embark on this journey and for it to all get started. I want to meet this baby. I want it to happen.
it's gonna be so cute.
They're
I
good
know,
people,
and one
yeah.
of the things that really stuck out to me too is the dad. Obviously, like all dads or most people will be concerned, well, what does happen if you break up? And they're like, the child is first, the child is first, the child is first. And that I think is just so important, and I loved how much they emphasize that too, because it's like, you guys
It's
are like
true.
really doing this like for the child.
And you know what Lawrence went through as a child, I know that he like wants to like keep that family together like for this kid. Like he doesn't want to do that to his child, and even more reason why this child is going to be brought up with so much love and just like community.
Which was another like very touching moment to hear how that whole thing played out when he was a child. I could not imagine going through something like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That was just heartbreaking.
It's brutal.
To explain it, how his parents were just at the airport and he had to choose.
Yeah. Oh my god. And like still like every time I see it, it just it never gets easier to watch. It's so incredible, his story and how he turned out such an incredible man. He's a good boy. It's
And then still, last week I think I predicted that we would see more of Billy, but
Where is Billy?
he just shows up shirtless all the time.
I don't know if you caught it, but there is when Billy comes up to meet Debbie.
Yeah.
Debbie like makes this like yelling sound, and right behind this guy turns around because he's like startled, like doesn't know what's down, and literally sees Billy and goes, "Oh," and like does this whole up and down look, and it is the funniest. I think it's like a GIF. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a thing, and I just it is the funniest thing. I'll have to show you two.
Yes.
It's so funny. But that, I mean, he made a mark on that episode just being him.
I don't
He's
think I
always
caught
just
that. I was
shirtless.
so like,
Oh, yeah.
obviously when
Well,
his
you're
shirt
focused
comes
on
off,
him.
it goes straight there.
He actually is the one that pointed out to we have the group chat, and he's like, look at this video, and of course he's the one not looking at himself, and he's looking at the guy behind him looking at it. Was the funniest. You guys are gonna die. It's so funny.
I have to
That's
rewatch it and
hysterical.
see that.
It's so
That's
funny.
amazing.
Yeah, I was really sad. He didn't even get a moment at the house with
I
Kyle.
know.
I was like, I
I
totally forgot they
know.
lived together because they just poor Billy.
What is Billy doing? Maybe he was at the gym that day,
Probably.
or on
right?
Ellen. Who knows what he's up
Or on
to?
Ellen.
How epic. He works on Ellen and the Abbey.
I know,
Yes,
right?
Like, how
Like,
did you luck out like
He
that?
has 2 contract roles where he just, it's like having a extra role that is a contract role, and you just never have lines, but you're always there.
Mm-hmm.
Just always there.
He's great.
Yeah.
Just looking at him, he's great.
No, I know.
Looking at him, yes, I completely agree. Like,
No, it's so sweet.
so is there anything you can kind of tease for us in the next coming episode or the rest of the season?
Let's see here. I mean, the next episode, you will be seeing a big blowout fight.
Oh.
Ooh.
Actually, a couple.
Do you get in any more, do you
Right.
do any more dating, or do you get in any more relationships throughout this season?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I do go on a couple dates, and I end up dating someone. It's not Dylan, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Dylan.
Bad news.
But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure a few people get into new relationships, and we see Corey and Marie battling it out, and good and bad moments, and everyone has those relationship moments, I think, and maybe besides. I mean, Brandy and Lawrence are so good together. Like they're the ones sitting back with popcorn, just like watching everyone
They're like
else
the
fight.
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah.
I feel like they just
They
like have it all
are. The
together.
kids have fun.
Perfect. They are the Jay-Z and Beyonce of the Abbey. And I love it. And the little interjections that they have in the middle of all the fights are just so spot on and so non-dramatic.
Yeah.
They really seem like they just have their like heads on. Like they're
They
just
do.
very. I don't know if that was the best way to
I mean,
explain
they
it, but
really-
they like.
They really
Yeah.
are the two people that I think are ready to have a child at the Abbey. Like if you could find any other people that they
There's
are
no
the
one.
only ones that are that like responsible and like ready. Like all the rest of us are. Like,
Yeah.
we've got issues.
And we've got him too.
Yeah.
All good. We all got issues.
love
And
it.
then I also want to ask you about David Cooley. So
Yeah.
is he very involved in the show? Because it looks like we've seen him for like a couple minutes here and there.
Right, so he's an executive producer as well,
Yeah.
right?
So he's the owner of the Abbey, and he's an executive producer. He was there for a lot of filming, and we have parties at the Abbey for him, and we go to his house in Palm Springs with him, and he sets up all this stuff. But so far in the episode, we haven't seen a ton of him, but he's
Yeah.
definitely very involved, and he's talking to us all the time, so I don't know when his debut is really going to be. I think episode 3, maybe he comes out more, but
Yeah, it seems like he kind of wants to, keep it about
Yeah.
his business.
He's
and,
not- he's not
I don't
Lisa
think he's going to
Vanderpump.
open up about it.
yeah, she's
About
kind
his
of like
personal life.
the puppeteer, I feel like, of it all, and he's kind of just like, yeah, okay, just don't mess up, kids.
He's like, I got you guys together. You're
Yeah,
going to be great.
yeah. So, but yeah, he's in there. You'll see him, definitely.
Yay!
And
I'm
Brandon,
excited.
we didn't really see much of Brandon.
Episode 3, that's his debut too. I think they both come in together, maybe. But yeah, you'll definitely see more Brandon.
Okay.
Hopefully more. No, you definitely more of everyone next episode. I think there was certain I mean, Lawrence's and Brandy's thing tonight was so big. I think it was like more of a, we want to show more of them. But yeah, I think next episode you'll see a little bit more of everyone else.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Me
So we
too.
usually end the show with predictions.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can really give any because
Okay.
you know,
AFTERBUZZ
but if you want to
TV.
tease anything else.
Predictions. So, can I get, what kind of an example, like,
Okay, I'll give a prediction.
Okay.
I did write down that there's going to be no Kim and Elizabeth relationship. That was a prediction. Except like a friendship, but not like an actual relationship. And then I wrote down there's going to be no Kyle and Marissa relationship. I mean, there's probably going to be a little bit more in both, but I don't think it's going to end up that way. Those are my predictions.
Ooh. Those are good predictions.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if they're all right, but good.
Well, you would know. You would know.
You would know.
Oh, I also had one more prediction,
Yes.
and that's that Murray cheats in this season.
Oh, wow.
I'm really negative. I
Wow.
just realized it right now. I'm like, everyone breaks up.
No one stays together.
No one is happy.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Yeah, no. I'll think about someone to be in love. You talk next.
I don't. Or maybe give predictions if you didn't know what would happen. Would that work?
I don't know. I mean, all like those three relationships you talk about are prominent, and I think, I mean, you're not. I was gonna say you're not wrong, but you're not right. It's like, it's kind of like an
Ooh,
ebb and
I
flow
like that,
of
though.
everything, you
It
know.
makes me
So you
excited.
see a little bit of people trying, failing, successes. You see it all with all those relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said Marissa and Kyle are not gonna end up together.
Yes.
You know, I could really see it. I
Yeah.
think there's gonna be a lot of
Marissa having to figure out.
I
Her
think she's
situation?
gonna cut ties with Johnny. Kyle's gonna, be like, okay, like I tried.
He's
and
gonna see
you-
other girls because they always talk about
well,
that.
we saw
how-
that.
Yeah,
in
we
the,
saw it at
in
the end
the
of
teaser
that.
Right.
for the next episode.
Right.
So I think the jealousy that they're both going to create will make them end up together, which I don't know if is good or bad, but we'll see. And I think, what else do I think? I think Corey and Murray will continue on this slightly toxic cycle.
I can't.
Yeah.
It
Getting
breaks
together
my heart. Every
and
single
breaking
episode, I'm
up.
just like,
know. I
don't.
feel for Corey. I think, like I
But,
said, the
yeah.
way they're painting the picture for us, I'm just like, Corey.
That's very unfair.
It
It looks
deserves
very
so much
one-sided
more.
right now. Yeah.
It is very
does.
one-sided.
But you'll see more of Murray. I love Murray, and I've been with a cheating boyfriend, and I've had a lot of trust issues, and I feel for Corey in certain ways, but I also know when you are being crazy and when the other person is not at fault and you're kind of jumping to conclusions. So I see both sides.
And there's also one side, which is sometimes when people feel trapped in a relationship or it's not a good relationship, they tend to act out in the way that Murray is acting out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can't put it all on him. We're jumping in at
Totally.
this point, and we don't know what's
Give him
happened
a
before.
chance.
I'll give him the
Murray
chance.
proved us. Third time.
Hurricane
Next episode. I know, Hurricane Murray. He's a wild one. And then what else? I had one more prediction. I'm totally blanking now. Oh, Brandy and Lawrence. I think they're just gonna continue to be like
Perfect.
one of my favorite. Just like
Yeah.
oh, like every time I see them, I'm always like oh.
Yeah.
And
I still do that. It's disgusting. You're making us all look bad, you guys. Can you stop? Thank
Yeah.
you. No, they're great.
That's all I have for now. Do you have
Me
any
too.
other predictions, Paige? No.
Nope. No, I'm going to leave it there on my negative note. Leave that sit in the world until next
That's
week.
okay. That's okay. And so one last thing, Kim. So
Yes.
it sounds like you are still all really close with the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, me and Elizabeth hang out all the time.
Oh.
We're still besties. There's no matter what happens with us, good or bad. We've been through the bad, we've been through the good, and it just makes you stronger as a friendship, as a partnership. I absolutely love her and adore her, and everyone else in the cast. Every time I see them, it's just nothing but love. No matter what happens, no matter
awesome.
who's in a fight, it doesn't matter. No one really picks sides. It's just like.
I have kind of noticed that the one thing that's really different about the show to a lot of
Yeah.
shows is, you know how they have the after show, like after the season,
Yeah.
and then everyone gets together and they're yelling at each other.
Yeah.
I don't really see anyone doing that at this
No.
point yet, except maybe Corey and Murray,
Exactly.
but not in like
That's
the
them.
malicious way where
Yeah.
like cast members just hate each other.
No one's gonna be like, F you, Murray, for doing that to her. Like, no one,
Yeah.
everyone kind of stays in bounds of their own relationships, and, you know, everyone kind of has their own opinions on it, but no one's trying to, like, talk down to you for doing whatever you did. Whoever said this, we all kind of stay out of it and just side eye, okay, you know,
Yeah.
drink our tea, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So were you guys all friends before the show, or did this just make you guys all that much closer?
So me and Elizabeth knew each other a little bit before the show, and then well, we were friends before we started working at the Abbey, and then became really close when we started working at the Abbey together.
Okay.
Yeah, and then everyone else has known each other for pretty much the same amount of time. I mean, Kyle and Murray both worked there for like 5 years. I think Lawrence has worked there for 5 years too. Brandy. So everyone's who's there for a while. I mean, except for Marissa. Marissa, I guess, is the newbie, but we love her. We love
She
Debbie
is
too.
a little Energizer bunny.
Yeah.
She is adorable.
Right?
It's always
Her eyes are so like
So fun.
open.
So excited. It's just like
I love
she's
it.
seeing everything for the first time.
Yeah,
you know what I
always.
mean? It's
deer in the
really cute.
headlights.
Yeah.
I think I said that last episode. I was like, she's always just
Yeah.
so like ready to go, what to do.
I love the way she says Kelly Ripa. I wanted that Kelly Ripa job. She always says
Yeah.
that.
Oh, she's so cute. Her accent is adorable. I
It's
love
great.
it.
And I love how she's always so starstruck
Yes.
by everyone she meets.
Every single person, even me.
Which is crazy because you go to the Abbey and there seriously are almost big names all the time.
Yeah. And there's just like beautiful, beautiful men all the time that
That's
are not
true.
interested in me all the time.
I'm sure that's
Because
not
they're
true.
gay. If you didn't
Do you
get
think
that.
all the men get bigger tips than you throughout the night?
You know what? It's like the weird
a
thing is
great
that I
question.
do think maybe the guys sometimes get bigger tips, but the lesbians tip great.
Oh yeah.
Lesbians tip great, you know? So, I mean, we have that going for us.
And a lot of straight people go to the Abbey.
Yeah.
So
Tons
Yeah.
of straight people.
there you go.
Just to get loose, you know?
Get loose,
Who doesn't like getting loose at that?
No,
Very
that's
true. Very true. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and Kim, thank you so much
for having
being
me,
here.
too.
Thank you. It was
We
really
loved
fun.
having you. Yes. Yes.
You're a little like blonde squad.
I know,
Matching
you guys. It was like we were all
outfits.
matching. We didn't even know. I was your host tonight, Tessa Cevaal. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tessa_Cevaal. This is my lovely co-host, Paige. Where can they find
And you can find me at Paige Kelly Bach on Instagram and Twitter.
And Kim.
Kim Senser, and you can find me on Instagram at uncensored, spelled incorrectly. Figure it out.
And
She's
don't-
famous. You'll find her.
She's on a reality TV show.
Hi, you guys.
And don't forget to follow AfterBuzz on all social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.